Hey, it's studio time. The Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Send your band submissions to Nate at radio949colorado.com.
All right, welcome back to Studio 94.9. It's the Locals Lounge here at Radio 94.9. We got our guest joining me in the studio today. He's got a big gig. It's our Radio 94.9 Summer Jam at the Moxie with Wind in the Wave, Brent Cowles, and Bright Silence. And I got Kevin from Bright Silence. Welcome, man.
Howdy. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
My pleasure.
So
There's air conditioning, so I'm totally down.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Inside.
Cool in here in two ways.
Yep.
There will be a lot of dad puns. Sorry about that.
Cool.
Even though I'm not a father.
No, it's good to be prepared, you know.
True.
So let's start off, if you could, just introduce me and the listeners who may not be familiar to Bright Silence. You know, just kind of give me a little bio, if you would.
Sure. I'm a Colorado native. I was born in Greeley many years ago and played some music. I was a theater kid. Went to Greeley Central High School. And then many years later found myself in New York City. I was in a Denver band a long time ago, but then spent about a decade on the singer-songwriter scene in New York, living in Brooklyn, where I made a lot of amazing friends. A lot of amazing musicians were part of that friend group. Became peers with a lot of people who have gone on to some amazing things. And then, you know, very long story short, in making, continuing to play the music that I've written and recorded, I've found myself kind of putting together bands based on what city or country I'm in, or where my tour is. So right now, I'm in sort of the third chapter of the past few years of personnel for the record. So I've got a band that are Denver and Greeley-based guys. And we just played the UMS Underground Music Showcase in Denver.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was probably the best that we've sounded. Things are really starting to gel.
Nice.
So I'm back in Colorado and totally digging the scene and feeling the love.
Fantastic. How would you describe your sound?
Oh, well, I'm a baritone.
Okay.
Baritone, English speaking. The question everybody wants to answer, right? What does your music sound like?
Yeah.
It's like orangish with a purple hue around the edges. I guess, no one ever wants to answer this question, but the influences that I wear heavily on my sleeve that are maybe brought up when people are saying, hey, you sound like this, are guitar-based Radiohead.
Okay.
Jeff Buckley was a huge influence on singing style for me. Having grown up as a theater kid, being around musical theater a lot, rock singers like Jeff Buckley or Tom York or even Bono, who are, really melodic and passionate, are big influences. I think the band, especially in our newer record, are somewhere between Arcade Fire and Fleet Foxes and maybe even Grizzly Bear, but also we have this kind of pop rock element like your Radioheads or your Coldplays,
right.
some Brit rock influence in there too.
Got it.
So it's, the other typical answer, it sounds like everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
All right.
Which is not exactly true.
A little smorgasbord going on there.
A delicious smorgasbord of sounds.
Cool. Well, let's give the people a taste, why don't we? The first tune we're going to play today is called Least Resistance. Can you tell me about this song?
Yes. This tune, I remember in the writing process realizing that most of the songs that I had written before were 5 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And I was like, surely there's a way I can just edit this, trim the fat, cut to the goods as soon as possible. So it's the shortest song that I've written, and it is influenced by, getting out of your hometown, taking risks, following a dream, and sort of the internal battle of whether or not that's the right thing to do. Your passion versus your, pragmatic mind of how to survive.
All
It's
right.
kind of about that.
Cool.
Should we give it a spin?
Let's give it a spin. Once again, it's Kevin from Bright Silence in the studio with me. Studio 94.9. This is Least Resistance.
Go faster.
Forget what you are and wake up. Oh, from this dangerous dream. Oh, stargazer, bright future, poster boy on an armature. Give it up what you only get once. Chose the path of the least resistance. Give it up what you only get once. Chose the path of the least resistance. Forget what you are.
Nice. Least Resistance from Bright Silence. It's Kevin in the studio with me today. That was awesome. Studio 94.9,
sir.
the local lounge here at Radio 94.9. Now, before we started doing radio here today, you gave me a couple of your albums, your first and second record here, and you mentioned that you did the artwork.
Yes.
And I'm looking
true.
at the second one here, the newest one, and it's awesome. Tell me about
Thank you.
tell me about Kevin the artist.
Oh boy, well, he's been dormant a little for a while,
Okay.
but sort of the visual art part of my personality is definitely a big one. I've been doing a lot of graphic design and stuff lately for posters and other people's albums and things like that, but the pieces there are actually a watercolor painting. It's kind of a collage that I had made a while back and decided that it was the right thing to use for this particular record. It's sort of hard to describe on air, but it looks like some sort of like a structure, a large, almost like a construction area, but it's very futuristic and strange. And there are these figures sort of surrounding it. And if you look on the back and on the inside, you see that there's sort of this central figure that looks like he's maybe being crushed under the weight of something or trying to escape from something.
Yeah.
And if you look closely, there's a secondary figure who is like the new guy or the younger version, or he's approaching from afar.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of about cycles, change, the scale of mankind in reference to the world that we inhabit.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. Is this picture on like the Facebook page and the website and all that?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I would assume. Check it out, everybody. It's awesome.
Thank you
It's
so
really
much.
Cool. Absolutely, man.
Need to pick up the brushes again.
Yeah, I agree. This is great. So the next tune we're gonna do, it's off the new record, the 2016 release. Time is New,
Correct.
and it's called "I'm a Fire." Can you tell me a little bit about this song?
It was just a horrible cooking accident where, let's just say stuff got real. Human beings, we're fun, right? We're interesting. Sometimes we are at low lows and sometimes we are at high highs. And this song is sort of about the process of being sort of lost in the heightened state that you can be in.
Okay.
Be it joy, be it sorrow, be it excitement, be it love, be it passion, be it anger. It's sort of about the power of our emotions and how they can affect us. I guess that'd be the, without giving away all the secrets.
Yeah. Don't blow it, but so nothing about cooking actually.
No, that's actually true. Nothing about that.
That was a good way to bring it on, though. I like that. All right, once again, it's
We are going to cook later, right? There's food, right?
sure.
It's a lounge.
It's
There's food.
catered, I think. Yeah, we'll wait for them to show up.
Amazing.
Once again, it's Kevin from Bright Silence, Studio 94.9, and this is called "I'm a Fire."
Boundless abandon is hiding just under your skin. A teetering phalanx of chaos in your abdomen. All the things we wish we'd never done. Boundless love before the sunrise comes. So let it all just burn. We'll call it a good run and say goodbye. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. Details are extraterrestrial, churning within. Sentences spilling, betraying your false innocence. Ordinary vices, bury once. Why keep digging up the deepest ones? So let it all just burn. We'll call it a good run and say goodbye. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. All consuming, climbing up the curtains, just taking what it wants. Ooh, and all it takes is once. So let it all just burn. We'll call it a good run and say goodbye. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. I'm a fire tonight. I'm a fire. So let it all just burn.
All right. Bright Silence. It's Kevin from Bright Silence. That was called I'm a Fire. Right on, man. It's Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge here at Radio 94.9. So you were telling me earlier that when you were working on these records, you've worked with people who've worked with Adele and Beyonce and things like that. Tell me
Not
a
a
little
joke.
bit. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, most of these records, Community is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge believer in the power of it. This next song I'm going to do actually is about the power of community. But it's amazing how rich and varied it can be. When we were making this album in New York, one of the songs was actually recorded while on tour in Germany because this new song had been worked up, co-write with a friend of mine named Joanna Katcher. And we were like, we want to record this just to record this version that we did with the band. And then that ended up on the record with the rest of my New York musicians. And in the, especially in New York, you're walking down the street, you bump into people all the time. And you're like, oh, hey, man, how's it going? To, people you haven't seen in years. And our producer, Alex Lipson, who's worked with Nada Surf, his old studio was actually where the Yeah Yeah Yeahs recorded Fever to Tell.
Oh, wow.
So he's been like an old school New York dude. He's been around, so he just knows all these people. And he ran into a guy named Ryan Smith, and who is a mastering engineer.
Okay.
And Ryan works at a place called Sterling Sound, which is, among the finest mastering studios in the world.
Yeah.
And they have really big clients like Coldplay and Adele and Beyonce and whatnot.
Huh.
And he's particularly well known for mastering vinyl.
Okay.
And in fact had done the vinyl for Adele's 25, Beyonce's Beyonce, and Coldplay's X and Y.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some heavy hitters.
Amazing roster, amazing resume this guy has.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that, you'd think, oh, this guy must be this famous dude. And, on social media, he's kind of got an average footprint, but he's incredible at what he does and has a great gig. So he happens to know my producer, and basically they were like, oh, well, we're making this record. We're really excited about it. Do you have any time open for, producing, for mastering our thing? That'd be so cool. I'd love for you to hear it. And he basically was like, yeah, I got you, man. So
cool.
we basically got an incredible, deal with that personal relationship that our producer had with this guy.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of me sitting at home sending emails to this extremely professional guy, but it turned out beautifully. I couldn't be happier with the way that the record sounds.
That's awesome. Huh. Small world.
Small world.
Well, speaking of which,
Every day.
you mentioned that's what this next tune's a little bit about.
Yeah.
Go into detail a little bit more about what Wake is, in fact, about. This is the new tune. You've got the video for it as well, right?
Yes. We just premiered this music video on a website called Sound Reef,
who
are a performing rights collection agency similar to EMI or BMI or ASCAP in the States.
Okay, gotcha.
In Italy, I guess for like 100 years or more, there had been a monopoly on that. So one company was in charge of making sure artists got paid when their music was played on the radio or on the internet. And there was some belief that they were not so transparent with how that money was dealt with. So this newer company called Sound Reef said, that's not right. This should be done in a transparent way where artists get paid quickly and transparently.
Yeah.
So they're a really cool company, and we're really fortunate to have had our video premiere on their site.
Nice.
The song Wake was actually written back in 2012.
Okay.
When Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast.
All right.
I was working at this little bar called Bar 4 in Park Slope, Brooklyn, that had an amazing little open mic scene that spawned artists like Lucius, The Lone Bellow, Wakey Wakey, Steve Waite, a ton of amazing musicians.
Nice.
And one of the guys who was sort of the backbone of that whole open mic was this sound guy who never really wanted to be a sound guy in the first place, and then ended up doing it for 8 years. His house was affected pretty bad by the hurricane, flooded with several feet of water.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, needless to say, super bummed and distraught, and kind of thought life was over.
Right.
And our little community in Brooklyn got together and basically put on an open mic that was a special one where we brought as many people as we could, as many musicians of his that were his favorites.
Yeah.
And we played all night and ended up raising a bunch of money for him to help him move, help him, get some of his furniture excavated from the flood, etc. So then when we were in the studio, fast forward, 4 years, we started filming one of the takes of one of the songs, and it happened to be this song, Wake. And the guy who filmed it, an amazingly talented guy named David Rasura, basically said, we need to make this into a music video. So from his raw footage of us recording the song over the course of years, actually, we added footage from us touring in Europe, footage from our friends all over the world singing. So it's basically and from my return to Colorado, there's a performance that I was fortunate enough to do at Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Oh, really? Nice.
There was a tribute to Prince when he died, and a bunch of Colorado musicians played.
Yeah, okay.
I was fortunate to be part of that. So
Nice.
we see a little bit of a return to Colorado, and brings us up to speed with the addition of the new musicians I've been playing with. So it's kind of a scrapbook of the last 2 years of my life, and also really displays the power of my community in parallel to the power of the community that helped my friend back when the hurricane hit.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, we're really
Sweet.
excited about it.
Yeah, cool. Oh, once again, here we go. Let's give
I
it-
should say too,
Yeah.
if you want to watch the video, all you have to do is go to thebrightsilence.com.
Boom. There you go.
Thebrightsilence.com.
Make sure you got the.
You do have to have the.
Cool. All right.
Unfortunately.
Well, let's hear this song. Once again, it's Kevin from Bright Silence, or The Bright Silence as well.
Either
or.
works.
Either or. Cool. It's Studio 94.9, and this is that song. This is Wake.
Standing at the deep end, swearing everything is lost. Staring at an ocean that's broken gravitational laws. And it feels like the water's washed away your walls. Remember that your brothers catch you when you fall. It's gonna take whatever it wants. Nothing spared in the wake of the water. We're gonna give together as one. Love is there in the face of tomorrow. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, whoa. Oh, oh, oh. Scraping back together pieces that were weathered and worn. Staring at a brand new era accidentally born. And it feels like your life is washed out in the storm. Remember that the silver lining is what friends are for. It's gonna take whatever it wants. Nothing spared in the wake of the water. We're gonna give together as one. Love is there in the face of tomorrow. It's gonna take whatever it wants. Nothing spared in the wake of the water. We're gonna give together as one. Love is there in the face of tomorrow. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, whoa. Oh, oh, oh. Won't let you drown in it all. 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 Won't let you drown in it all.
Yes. That was awesome. That was intense, man.
Thank you.
Bright Silence. It's Kevin here with me. That was called Wake.
Intensity of a hurricane.
Yeah, man. Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge here at Radio 94.9. Before we wrap it up here, in addition to the show we got at the Moxie on the 11th with Wind in the Wave and Brent Cowles, what else you guys got coming up?
Well, we're really excited to play that show on the 11th. Wind in the Wave are awesome. Brent is a buddy, and we've never shared the stage.
Oh, cool.
So we're super excited about that.
Nice.
Lots of things on the horizon. There will probably be a return to Europe in 2018 in the spring.
Okay.
But closer to home, we're doing a show at the High Dive in Denver on October 2nd with some New York friends called Landlady, which we're excited about. And another late October thing that I can't talk about yet that we're really stoked about.
All right.
And yeah, the music video that's out, we're pushing that now, getting it in front of as many eyes as we can.
Yeah, totally.
And gosh, I don't know, maybe taking a little break.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe.
I was going to say.
UMS was intense.
Yeah,
it was a long weekend of mucho rock and roll.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of music crammed into one weekend.
It was wonderful.
Nice.
It was a great thing.
Awesome. Well, once again, it's Kevin from Bright Silence. We got the Radio 94.9 Summer Jam at the Moxie on the 11th with Wind in the Wave and Brent Cowles. And just can't thank you enough for coming in, taking time out of your day, sharing your music, sharing your stories. And we'll see you at the Moxie, man.
All right. Sounds good.